Okay guys, in today's demo we're going to show you how to utilize the grading templates and set them up. So if this is the first time you're setting up the templates, you're going to want to go over to System Settings. We'll look for grading options. Now on the left side are categories that essentially you're going to add to the grading devaluation templates. You're creating the options right now. So what we'll do is, one of the recommended ways is the following. For grading options, for desktop, I call the title desktop, and we'll add groups below, condition, bottom case, and then give options that you want the users to see. So over here we have condition for the bottom case, the side case, the top case, and potentially missing components. And some people will use testing results, which are considered best practices to allow your technicians to select what things were tested and save it in case of an audit. Now we save that and you'll be able to create a additional. So in this example we're going to create one for laptop, and we'll hit add, and this will add the subcategories, and for each subcategory you could add component level questions. So what we'll do is we'll do very similar to what we did previously. We'll do condition bottom case, and we'll do major scuffing, minor scuffing, and no scuffing. Then we hit add, and that's going to give it another level. So we'll do the same thing for the sides. Now one of the important things to note here is you have an option to do checkboxes or radio boxes. If you want multiple selections, you use a checkbox. If you want one selection, you're going to use radio boxes. So in this case, I would probably use radio boxes because I want the technician to only select one option for each section here. So we'll copy these in: major scuffing, minor scuffing, no scuffing. Now I'm going to add another section, and we'll do missing components. So for a laptop, there's a couple different things. You might want to track what's missing. An adapter, possibly the rubber feet, caddy, and hard drive, and potentially optical drive. Now if there are other options that you want to track, just add them and you could bring them in. Now I'm going to add in another level, and we're going to do this for testing results. And this will be a checkbox because we're going to allow them to check off what was actually tested. So we're going to say, okay, all drives tested, all ports tested, CPU passed, do memory pass. We'll check for the Ethernet. We'll do LCD screen pass. We'll do post pass, and we'll do a power test. So by doing so, we just added in a whole section for a laptop section. So these are options you could utilize. When you're setting up your devaluation templates, you have to set them up in the system settings first. Then what you're going to do is you're going to go to recycling, devaluation grade templates, and over here you're going to select, one of the grade templates you want to utilize. Hit update. Now for laptop, we've had it set up previously. And since I've used this, I can't remove these options, but I could disable them like so they won't show up. And I'll get rid of the consumables and various options that we have here. Now I'm going to hit add, and we're going to add the one we just created called laptop. So now we added it. If we go below, you'll see all the sections. So now you have to decide what you want to display to the user. In this case, we want to show them all. We'll say these affect the grade because they're cosmetic devals here. All these over here, I say missing components. A lot of times you might want to select absolute value dollar deduction, which is what we're doing. And then for memory testing, it's more of data collection. So it's not going to affect the grade. It's not going to affect the dollar deduction. So I'll put in a 10-point scale for a major and 5 points for a minor. Now, if you look above, you can see here there's a point grade scale A, B, C, D. 0 to 3 is an A. So if it had a minor scuff, it would automatically fall to a B because we gave it a 5-point deduction. And if it was B, it would do a 10% deval reduction off the fair market value price. So what that means is, typically if you're going to offer a fair market value template, you're going to tell the customer, hey, we're going to pay you $100 for a grade A laptop. And if it falls to a B, it would be 10%. If it falls to a C, it's 40%. And then you'd be able to list out all your deductions that you are going to penalize them potentially for. So that's how you set that up. I'm going to save this. And once it's saved, we then can use it. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go to like an inbound order. We'll schedule one really quick, and I'll show you what those devals look like. So I'm going to receive in a pallet of computers. I'll just say it's 500 pounds added into the system. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the inventory detail page. Over here we're going to do an audit. So if I bring in a Optiplex, say 7010, and you could see now when we go to the grading tab, it's going to give you all those options we just set up. And if we're going to, look at that unit and say, okay, bottom case has no scuffing. Condition of the side case, there was some minor scuffing. The top case had no scuffing. And we're going to say for missing components, we notice that the optical drive is missing. And for testing results, you could go through and check off what's been tested. And then once saved, you could add it into the system. And then these options are going to be available in the settlement. So when you're going to be reviewing the equipment and reviewing the notes, you're going to be able to provide this information to your clients, plus be able to make informed decisions on how to discount the product off the fair market value from what you've agreed to. Now, since we set them up, it was all very category attribute based. So now if I bring in a laptop and if I do a E7440, you can see here we'll have different grading conditions here: bottom case, side case, missing components. So whatever you set up in those grading templates is going to match what your technician's going to see. So it's very important to configure that properly and in a logical way to make it easy for them to select the proper conditions or missing components. So that's how you use the deval grading templates. And just one other thing, typically you would set up a default for every order, but in the contracts you have the ability to dictate which grading deval is going to be used. So if I go to commodity pricing, over here you could add in additional grade templates, and you might have something very specific for one customer over another, so you could create it and apply it to that contract. So whatever's received in under that contract would have those grading options applied to it.